What I want to do is I'm actually going to break this up into two brief videos. In this first video, I just want to walk through the formula because I think that that's important and I think it's getting lost. What I've also discovered is that all of you, or many of you, are using different versions of Excel. And Excel has changed its output over the years so that it doesn't always give the value of the t-test. Sometimes it gives the p-value, which is derivative from the estimated t-value. We're going to work through the mechanics so that everybody gets the same result with the t-value. And so first let me present the basic formula. What we want to do is estimate t. And what t tells us is how large is, it's a summary statistic for the distance between two means. And in our case, we're going to use quartile 1 of states and quartile 4 of states. And so what we want to know is the average of quartile 1 minus the average of quartile 4 divided by this, what's called the difference of the standard errors of the means, which is basically saying do the standard, if you took average 1 and added and subtracted its standard deviation to either side of it, and you took average 4 and added and subtracted actually its standard error to either side of it, would those intervals overlap? Or if they do overlap, then the difference between average of Q1 and average of Q4 is 0 or even negative. If they don't overlap, then indeed we say there's a significant difference. So the first thing is that the formula is simply the average of Q1 minus the average of Q4 over this funny thing called, which I have denoted as S sub average Q1 minus average Q4, which would be the standard error of the difference of means. This will require us to do 4 steps once we're in Excel. The first step is we will square the standard deviation of the first quartile states, and we will divide the number of we will divide this standard deviation, this squared standard deviation, by the number of observations in Q1. This could be 12 or 13. It doesn't matter to me which you choose. The second is the same exact process, but now for Q4. We square the standard deviation of Q4 and divide by the number of observations, or the sample size, in Q4. This is the sample standard error for Q4. The third step is really quite simple. We add the sample standard errors from steps 1 and 2. In a sense, these are really the sample standard variances at this point because they're squared. But the final step will take care of that, because in step 4 we take the square root of this total score to find the standard error of the difference of means, or S sub average Q1 minus average Q4, as I've previously stated. So this is the steps we're now going to move into Excel to do. And so what I'll do is actually stop this video and start a new video with the Excel spreadsheet.